Hi, I'm Ignatowich. I'm a professional pickleball player on the PPA Tour, and today I will be teaching you how pro players predict every shot in pickleball, how they anticipate. So for some people, it's easy to read the paddle face and body positioning of their opponents, and for others, it's not. So today, I'm gonna show you how to work on that. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I have my partner here, Drew. I am going to be at the kitchen line. I'm going to shadow swing a shot, and then I'm gonna stop at contact point, and I'm gonna have my partner guess where the ball is going to go, where I'm aiming, based on my body positioning and my paddle face. So
I think you're going cross court because your paddle's facing that way. Your body is kind of opened up to go that way. There's no way you're going down the line.
Yeah. Okay, so a big key giveaway here is the shoulder, right? So if my shoulder is more facing forward, typically that ball is going to go down the line. If my shoulder is more pointed towards cross court with an open chest, typically that ball is going to go cross court. So for topspin dinks, it's usually the same. So we'll try it again. Okay, ready?
That one, I think you're going down the line.
Because why?
Because your paddle is faced more that way in your body. For you to bring it cross court, you'd probably pop the ball up.
Yeah, so then a cross court topspin dink would be more like here.
Yeah.
Because my paddle is facing this way. So it's tough to make the ball go somewhere without pointing the paddle face towards that place. So now I'll show some forehand side stuff. So now on the right side, I will have him guess again.
I think you're going cross court middle.
Cross
Not
court.
super cross court, but
Cross court middle, yeah. Why?
just your paddle angle, your leg. I mean, I guess you could switch it up last second, but you're probably not going to.
And my chest is pretty what?
It's pretty open.
Yeah, so open is a pretty dead giveaway on the forehand side for middle. Now I'll do two more. Ready?
I think that's going pretty cross court, but you'd probably rotate your body more, even though your body's a little bit more closed. Your paddle's still showing that direction.
Now ready?
I mean, that's going right down the line probably. And if it's not going down the line and you try to go cross court, you're popping that up and I'm putting that bad boy away.
Okay, good. So, Rue is a competent young man. But doing this in slow motion when you're watching someone that's stopped at contact point is a lot easier than reading it on someone who is directly in front of you and moving at the same time. So, there's an easy way to work on that. I'm gonna show you right now.
Also, wait, Ignatowich pro tip that you told me months ago, watch like PPA games, put it on like 0.05 speed and pause it right before they hit the ball and see if you can guess where it's gonna go. You taught me that. It's pretty useful.
Yeah, so at the beginning of my career, when I was a pickleball baby, I would watch pro pickleball because I had an older brother at the time, not anymore, he moved to China, but back when I had an older brother, he was great at reading shots for Ernie's, and I was mesmerized by it. I was like, how is he doing this? This is God's work. This is insane. So I would watch pro pickleball on 0.25 speed and I would pause it right at contact and then I would guess where the next ball was gonna go before they hit it. So that's a fun thing you can do if you really like watching pro pickleball is go to YouTube, type in the PPA Tour, find a match, wait until every player is up at the kitchen line, and then pause it during a dink when they're right at contact and guess based on their body position where the next ball is going to go. That's huge.
There's only so much I can cover in a video, but lucky for you, I've put together a 58-page, in-depth, complete pickleball system roadmap from beginner to pro. It covers every shot in pickleball, high-level strategies, it has over 20 different drills that I use, and it even has structured practice plans for every single level from 2-5 to pro. If you're interested in really transforming your game, this is the missing piece, a collection of everything I've learned for the past few years playing on tour. Secrets from the best players in the world. I'll leave a link in the description and pinned comment down below. I highly recommend you check it out.
When it comes to reading someone's paddle face at the kitchen line, there's a few things to keep in mind that are pretty key. So if I'm at the kitchen line and I have a pretty open paddle face, this usually means I'm going to hit a relatively dead dink back, a relatively soft dink, a reset dink, defensive type dink. So if you ever see that your opponent has an open paddle face, open means facing up, that's your sign to lean forward a little because the next ball that you get, you might be able to speed that up pretty easily. That might be an attackable ball. Now, if their paddle face is closed means facing the floor. So like this is horizontal at an angle down towards the ground, right? If their paddle face is closed at all, this is going to be a more aggressive topspin dink or potentially a speed up. So anytime you see that your opponent has a closed paddle face on either side of the dink, make sure that you take a really big split step and be ready for an aggressive ball to come. Either a speed up, either be ready for both a counter or to move to return an aggressive dink. You can also at the kitchen line pretty easily read someone's feet. So if someone's moving backwards or leaning backwards, typically their dink is going to be coming back a little bit higher. So that's another sign to lean forward a little and look to hit a more aggressive shot on the next ball. If at all their feet is moving backwards, if they're being pulled back, pushed back, you know that typically their dink is going to be coming higher. And you should also make it a habit of reading your own dinks. If you know that your paddle face is a little bit open, if you're hitting a more defensive dink, and you know that it's most likely not going to be the lowest, most aggressive dink ever, you need to know that they're looking to attack you, so you need to make sure that your split step is a lot bigger. This is how you anticipate attacks, knowing when you hit shots that aren't perfect. Big split step, you can even split step backwards a little bit as long as your body weight is still moving forwards. You can split step backwards to give yourself more space, but if as long as your body weight is still moving forwards, your counter will still be aggressive and it'll still most likely go down. Now it's really fun to practice reading dinks and guessing where your opponent is going to be hitting their ball based on their paddle face and their body positioning. However, the majority of the time, the reason that pro players have such good anticipation is because they anticipate based on their shots rather than their opponent's shots and their opponent's body language. So I've gone over this before and I'll go over it again, the triangle, right? So if I'm speeding up and I'm speeding up at a diagonal angle, so cross body of my opponent, the ball will be coming back cross body too in a triangle shape, or as someone recently commented, more of a V shape. If I'm speeding up straight or if I'm attacking straight, the ball is going to be coming back straight most of the time. So that's how pros anticipate, because they are so familiar with their own patterns in their hands battles that they're able to read where the ball is coming back. Now, if I'm attacking middle, normally that ball, that counter, is going to be coming back middle. So if I'm ever attacking middle, I know to sit middle on the counter. So reading hands battles is somewhat easier than reading dinks and the paddle face of your opponent, because hands battles, you pretty much always have a general idea of where the ball is coming back, just based on science and geometry and stuff. For the most part, anticipation is easy, right? Because anticipation isn't magic, it's probability. You need to be able to understand the highest percentage shots, and once you understand the shots that are high percentage, you know where your opponent is going to be most likely hitting the ball. So for example, if my opponent is hitting a wide backhand dink, I know that that ball's usually going cross court, because hitting down the line sometimes is kind of weird and kind of risky, and most of the time if someone is on the stretch, cross court is higher percentage because there's more room for error, there's more margin for error, right? If my opponent is taking a big step back, most of the time they're gonna go straight because they can't go around their body because that's awkward. Or if, for instance, I'm someone who sits really heavy backhand in my ready position, I know that if my opponent is speeding up and I see them going for a speed up, usually they're gonna be attacking the right side of my body because they're gonna try and chicken wing me. It's just a really common pattern. So you have to know the patterns, you have to know the shots, and the more that you watch, the better you'll get at anticipation. So watch pro pickleball. Watch your friends play pickleball. It's easier to see the patterns when you're not in the game yourself. So an easy way to work on this is you can just do it when you're dinking. So I'm gonna dink with Drew, and I'm going to call out whether I think the ball that he's hitting is going middle or if it's going wide, and I'm gonna try my best to read his body positioning and his paddle face when we're just dinking straight ahead to each other. So if you do wanna practice this, it can be kind of annoying if your opponent is yapping while you're dinking. So remember that you could practice this by saying it in your head too. That's probably the best way to go about it if you're just dinking with a friend. Just work on saying it in your head, either middle or wide. So here we go. Middle, wide. Can you not disguise them? Can you stop, please? Why are you trying to make me look bad in my video? Okay, so if you're ever doing this, try and do it without an annoying part. Don't tell your partner you're doing it if you're doing it, because they're gonna be annoying. They're gonna try and overly disguise every single dink that they hit just to piss you off. Make sure you don't tell them before you do it. Middle, middle, wide, wide, super wide, body, middle, 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 wide, Anyway, so that's the drill. That's a way to work on it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and comment down below what you want to see me cover next. And check out the pinned comment and description for my complete pickleball system, Roadmap from Beginner to Pro. It has over 20 drills, practice plans for every level, and high-level strategies from the best players in the world.